Everyone, hope you're doing well. Sorry I didn't leave a video yesterday. I was just having one of those days, but I'm back tonight and I hope you guys had a great day, or a great weekend, I should say. My work weekend is over, so I'm very grateful for that. Had a lot of thoughts in my mind, and I figured I would talk to you about something that I'm kind of going through right now, and I was wondering if anyone else could relate. And if you can, I'd really appreciate hearing some of your input in the comments below. I think it would really help me with deciding whether I did the right thing or not. So bear with me. Have you ever had a situation where you were told something that could have been very, very hurtful if you told the person that you cared about that was being said about them? I know that sounds really crazy, but let me rephrase that in a way. Did you ever hear something that was said about somebody you cared about that if it was ever related back to them, you would worry about how they would react to it? I had a similar situation happen to me this weekend. And what I did was I ended up telling the person I care about the information I received. And I felt really guilty afterwards. And I think I felt guilty because of the reaction. They were hurt by the reaction and they cried, and it made me feel just awful. And I had to think for a second and think to myself, what what was the reasoning for me telling them this information? And was I responsible for the reaction to it? Sometimes I think that I believe that honesty is the best policy. But I know sometimes it's easier to spare a person's feelings than to come right out and tell them the honest to goodness truth. Truth, again, is a very funny thing because I heard someone say this saying before, and it's so true. There is the absolute truth, and then there's your version of the truth. And sometimes we can get caught in the middle there with, are we speaking the truth or what we think the truth is? I guess if you overthink anything, which I tend to do if you've watched any of my videos, you can overanalyze anything. But basically what was said was there was a conversation that was between myself and a person who was friends with my friend. And she made some comments that really turned out that, looking at it as a whole, this person really isn't this person's friend. She said some things that were quite cold and cruel, and I found I find I was finding that I needed to tell my friend this information. Now, I didn't tell her everything. I edited it. I edited the conversation very much to spare her feelings. But I wanted to get to the gist of it to let my friend know that, maybe it's okay for you to think about letting this friendship go. Maybe this person isn't all what you thought she was, or who she used to be isn't necessarily who she is now. I felt really bad to her reaction, but she rest assured me that I did the right thing by telling her and coming clean. And I'm glad that I did because I didn't want to mislead my girlfriend. She was getting herself into a situation where she was having her feelings hurt, and it was very painful for me to watch. And I never want to see anyone be made a fool. And it's so strange when you talk about people who are friends. There is such a difference between friends and acquaintances. And I know that as we get older, it gets harder to become friends with people. I feel it's much easier when we're young. We're in school, we're in situations where you're around people your same age that have the same interests, and you kind of take it for granted for when you're young that it's just easy to make a friend. You're simply in one place, you find someone, you kind of click, and off you go and you become a friend. It's so much more rewarding when you become a friend as an adult. And the older you get, the more you value your friendships and cherish them. But in a lot of ways, people that you thought were your friends, they kind of become acquaintances, people that you necessarily wouldn't spend your time with like you did when you were young. They're just people that you see from time to time. You love them, you wish them well, but you don't mesh anymore. And then there's that other type of person who I like to refer to as the people that you used to know. Someone that you used to know. Someone that used to be a part of your life, used to fit in very, very well. But as time's gone on and you've matured or they've matured or one of you've gone one way and the other one really hasn't grown, you kind of grow apart. And there's a sense of like, oh, what's the word I'm looking? You mourn that because you mourn what you used to have. But you become more mature and your lives grow apart. And it doesn't take long to really realize this person really isn't the same person that you thought they were. Or they're almost like frozen in time. They've stayed in one dimension in your life. Or maybe you're the person that stayed in one dimension and the other person's grown. And how do you deal with that? Do you feel guilty for letting them go? Do we hold on to our friends too long? I myself, I find it very hard to let go of people. If they mean something to me, I hold on to them dearly. I never want to walk away from a friendship, even when the warning signs are up that, the friendship has run its course. It's something that's very sad to think about, but it's very realistic. People change. Lives go in different directions. And sometimes you have to let go of people. Especially when you've noticed that, oh, how can you say it? The friendship's gone one way and the other person's gone the other. It can be difficult to let those kind of things go, but you have to do what's good for you at your soul and at the core of you. And that's what I found out in the situation that I was in this weekend. And the strangest part about it was the first person, the first party, wanted to remain friends with me, but didn't want to continue the friendship with the other person. And the odd thing about that was those two were the ones that were friends at first. I was the last one in the situation. And out of respect for my friend, I have removed myself from that situation out of loyalty to my friend. And sometimes you can just see the red flags. I mean, if this person can turn on this other person without any warning so quickly, what makes you think you're any different? It's kind of like when you see people who date people who cheat. Like, say you're the other person in the relationship. It's always so funny to me, and I am guilty of it. I have been the other person in a relationship, which I'll talk about in another video. It's a time in my life that I'm not proud to talk about, but, it's, if you can be the person that the person's cheating on with, what makes you think that they're not going to cheat on you? And that's how I kind of felt in that relationship. If this person could just so quickly throw away a lifelong friendship, and I mean a lifelong friendship, we're talking decades, what makes me think that they wouldn't do the same to me? So I had to make a choice. And I chose my friend because I couldn't stand the thought of this person who wasn't even in the loop that anything was wrong, that anything had changed, who had always at the core been so kind and so true, that she could be turned on just like that. And I get it. People change. But there was no open line of communication. They were playing telephone and they were putting me in the middle. And I didn't want to be in that position anymore. So I let myself be in that position for a while. And I should have never put myself in that position. I don't blame either one of them for putting me in that position. I'm an adult. I made that choice. And I made that choice yesterday to take myself out of that position. I chose the side of rightness. I don't regret it at all. I mourn the end of their friendship, but I had to do what I thought was best for the well-being of my friend. And I know there's other people out there that have gone through these situations. I know it's nothing unique. I think we can all relate to what I'm talking about, even though as I'm thinking about what I'm saying, I think my words are getting caught up. I feel kind of really passionate about what I'm trying to talk about, so forgive me if the message is being a little misconstrued. Sometimes I need to take the time to breathe and think about what I'm going to say, but I shoot straight from the hip, and that's what's been on my mind, and it's like burning in my soul. So I just wanted to get online and talk to you guys and see if any of you could relate to it. I'm glad that I took myself out of the equation. It's not something I stand for. I never think it's okay to talk out of two sides of my mouth. I've prided myself to always say, there is nothing I would say to you behind your back that I would not say in front of you. I admire that in me. Look at me, even like patting myself on the back, which is such growth for me. So I didn't expect any less in my friendships. So that's what's on my mind tonight. I always want to say that's what's on my thoughts tonight, but that's what's on my mind tonight. I made a choice. I feel strongly in it. I'm glad that I'm out of that situation. I'm glad that my friend understood and didn't take any offense to me telling her anything, even though I gave her the edited version. And I never will tell her exactly what was said because there's no need to. The point was made. There's no need to hurt someone just to get a point across. I choose kindness, and I wish most people would. Life's too short to be nasty and petty. I mean, we're women, we're sisters. We should be building each other up, not tearing each other down. High school was years ago. That's where that drama should have been left, in high school. So that's what's on my mind tonight. I hope this video finds you well, even though it's a touchy subject. I missed talking to you guys last night, but I'm glad I made you a video tonight. And until I talk to you again, you take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.